Hello? Hello, what's up, people? Hello? Let me get the camera on. Hold up, there's an echo. Wait a minute, we don't want that. Okay. What's up, people? Hello. How y'all doing? A lot of people showing up today. Happy to see it. Okay, hold up. Sorry, setting up a little bit. Alright, so many people. Hello, everybody. Let me give you all some hearts. You can spam the hearts at the side of the chat if you want. Get the good vibes in here. What up, what up? Alright, some familiar faces, a lot of new faces. Should I try to speed run on the names? Okay, let's go from the top. Cody Empire, Zion, Fiora, Amy, Camilla, hello, Anne, Jeropa, Jenny, Clarissa, what's up? Amy, Benz, Rennie, Attila, Alex, Philip, Kaiser, Amy, again Amy, sorry, my bad. Marek, Catherine, Mario, hello, what's up, everybody? Okay, we have a situation today, let me tell you. Okay, let me tell you something. So we're doing Unreal Engine. Nelson, Frogonaut, Anne, Grawley, Goran, Rodrigo, Trizaran, what up? Alright, what's up, people? So we're doing Unreal Engine today. It's gonna be 1.5 hour boot camp of me punishing you all. No, I mean, I'll just take you through the very basics. I promise to be nice. I'll answer whatever questions you all have. That's why we do it live. And my name is Ona, and I'll be your instructor for today. I'm a student here in CADA. Hold on, let me turn down the music. I don't want to have to scream or my voice is gonna die. So I'm a student here at CADA. I'm currently on the 4th semester. I'll do my best to teach you all the very basics of how to use Unreal Engine. And on that note, how many people have used Unreal Engine before? So if you've used it before, let me see a hand. If you haven't used it before, let me see a blue smiley no, or just say no in the chat. Let me get an idea for how people are doing. Not you. Clarissa has used it before, of course. Okay, we got a bunch of new people. That is alright. That's alright. Okay, great. Alright, before we get into anything, did you all see my message on the Discord? Because we're gonna be using an asset pack. I'll be getting into all this stuff, but this thing might take a little bit of time to download. So just, if you haven't already, you gotta make like a little Epic account or whatever. Try the little Unity, alright, should feel familiar. So a crazy cool thing about Unreal Engine is the fact that there's such a big marketplace and a lot of cool assets out there, and every month they give us free stuff on the marketplace, and that's what we're going to be using today. So while I'm talking about a bunch of stuff, you all should visit this link and see if you all can download it or make an account, do whatever it is that you need to do, just so we don't get stuck in the middle of the stream. Can't access Discord, hold on. I will link the Discord because a lot of cool stuff goes on in there, so I'll link that one too. Hope you all are having a nice evening. There we go. So here's a link to the Discord too. Okay. Nah, you don't need to join the Discord. It's just today especially there's a big asset pack, and I was a little bit worried, you know, if you have like not that fast internet, it might take a little bit to download it. So I put a message out there, hey, you know, you can download it before the stream if you want to. Might speed up what you're doing. Epic update again, I know, right? Alright, okay, let's get into some 3D stuff. Whoop. So you can see asset pack I played around with a little bit. Looks like a mess, but we're gonna make it real cool. So, start from the very basics, and I will explain what Unreal Engine is for those that have never opened it before. If you have downloaded it, by the way, before I start, hand up in the chat if you have Unreal Engine ready, if you've downloaded it. So let me see those pink hands if you have it up. If not, hurry, download it. It'll be all good. You'll be able to catch up with us. But just remember to get it. There's a link in the description of the live stream. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. That's good. Boop, boop. Okay, I'll also link that real quick. But you can't find it? Oh, that sucks. Maybe I'll try something after stream or something like that. Okay, people are up and running. That's good. Alright, so first things first, we're gonna launch Unreal Engine, okay? So, the way we're gonna think about Unreal Engine for today is kind of like if you've used a program like Blender or ZBrush. How do I download asset packs? So to download an asset pack, you kind of have to run a scene, and I'll do that together with everybody right now. And then I'll start explaining, and stuff is going to be downloading, and while it's downloading we can play around with the engine, okay? So if you click launch Unreal Engine, you get this project browser, okay? So Unreal Engine is sort of a great place to combine all the stuff that you do in other 3D softwares, okay? So if you made a bunch of cool models, or you have some kind of film shoot that you want to do, Unreal Engine is a great place to do that because it's made to run in real time, which means when you put in a light and you want a picture, you don't have to wait for an hour to see what that looks like. You just see it right away. So kind of like a game, okay? And that's why it's great for games, or if you need some live feedback with film and video and all that kind of stuff, okay? There hasn't been any major changes from 3.5.3 to 5.4. Yeah, you guys, you don't need to install if you have like 5.3 or something like that. It should be totally fine. I checked already, like it's okay, it should be okay. I bought it, but I'm curious. Yeah, it should be free. So the thing is, I just want to use what everybody has on stream, and this month it's free. So I thought, okay, let's go ahead and use it and see what we can do. We'll kind of play around with it. So Epic is like that. Yeah. It is free. Yeah. Okay, great. So for today, we're just gonna go into the games section. So we have some presets here that kind of have some stuff set up for us already, and I'm gonna choose to go with a first person preset, and down here you can name your project. So I'm gonna call this one Bootcamp Jungle. Alright, and then I'm gonna click create. And it will take a little bit because it's gotta have to set up the project, and it'll set up all the folders on your PC and do like a real nice folder structure for you and all that. Okay. I'll give you all a second to get in here. But essentially what you'll see, if you've used Blender or anything like that, actually let me reset my viewport. So window, default editor. So this is what you should see by default. So essentially what we have here is a little sandbox. Okay, and in this sandbox you can do whatever basically you want to, okay? So you can do some crazy coding, you can do no coding at all, you can do like a shooter game, you can do whatever jumping puzzle, you can import assets you can showcase sculptures, you can import video footage, like there's so many things you can do. And today we're basically going to be making like a little level or a little scene. should be in my library in Unreal, but I cannot see it. Okay. I'll just give me a second and I'll actually import it into my own scene as well, and you can see how it goes. So in here there's a play button, which will spawn us in the map, and there's this gun we can pick up and all that because we chose the preset, so it has some functions already. Okay, and from this little blueprint or this little default scene setup, we'll start making our jungle. Okay, so before I start explaining more about how to actually use the software, we should all start downloading the jungle if we haven't already. Alright, so bottom left here is our content drawer. If we click that, I like to click dock and layout because it kind of sticks here. And we can like close that. Hold up, whoop. Accidentally click something. Yep, so in this content browser we have a folder with all our assets, okay? And we have some folders already, but we want to import more stuff. So you can imagine we would have like a jungle trees or jungle mushrooms or something like that, okay? And to import more stuff, we go to the Fab website. Okay, this is the one I linked, and I'm gonna link it again. It should be free for everybody today, so it is a steal. I'd recommend adding it to your cart and getting it. So you get it here, and then you click View in Launcher once you added it to your cart and basically bought it for free. Okay, and then you have your little Fab library down here. You might have to refresh it to see the new updates. And you can see how much stuff I have from just claiming like free stuff throughout the time I've spent in Unreal Engine, right? There's so many different things I could use. Yeah, the refresh button. And then we search for sci-fi, jungle, biome, and then we click add to project, okay? So the thing is that it is almost 7 gigabytes. And I hope that people have like decently fast internet speeds. If not, this will take a while. I'm sorry about that, but it's just the pack that we have for this month, okay? So add to project, and then you find your project. Let's see if we can find mine. Wait, am I missing it? I am missing it. Bootcamp jungle. I click add to project. .4 gigs. Yep. So this is what you gotta do, and I'll watch it for a second here, and then while it's downloading, I can go over some of sort of the basics of how to use the software and all that, and then we'll start making something cool. How's the music volume, by the way? Is it too loud? Are you guys able to hear me fine? It's always a bit hard to tell, you know, because I'm not on the other end. Windows wants to, music's fine. Alright, that's great. Fantastic. Hope you all are excited for this thing as well. So I downloaded it before I started the bootcamp to test stuff out. So mine downloaded really fast, basically. Awful music. Oh no, I'm sorry. Has to be some kind of copyright-free music, you know. So no question, but where is Unreal Engine used in like work areas? Alright, so that is actually a great question. So it is used for a lot of games, and I think games is sort of what it is most known for. But recently, because it's becoming so high fidelity, and there's high fidelity options inside the engine, it's actually been used for a lot of movie stuff too. So virtual production. If you've ever seen Mandalorian, the backgrounds in that show are actually shot on a real screen behind the actor. And that environment is running inside Unreal Engine. So there's so many options for this software nowadays. It's because they needed to kind of move the environment in real time with the camera and the actor and stuff. So they couldn't just do it in something like Maya or Blender. They needed the speed of Unreal Engine. That is the way. Yeah. A lot of PC games, mobile apps, and can be used for animation. Yep. Also, if you're doing some kind of indie movie, and you might be able to do the whole thing inside Unreal Engine. Just for like smaller productions, it's really nice that you can see your results immediately and play around with it. You can like change the lights here or there, whatever you want. So it's kind of good in that sense. Okay, let's get into the actual controls here. So in the center here, we have our viewport. This is where we see everything that happens in our scene. To move around in it, you hold down right click to look around. And then you can use WASD to move around. Okay. If you want to move faster or slower, you can scroll on your scroll wheel. So scroll up to go faster, scroll down to go slower. Okay. It's a kind of cool feeling. It's like you're flying around in a game or something. Might be used to the WASD kind of moveset from games. Are the streams saved on YouTube channel so people can watch again? Yes, they are streamed on the YouTube channel. Okay, people, how many are actually downloading the asset pack right now? It's very important and we're all downloading it. So let me see a red hand if you're downloading it or have downloaded it. Okay, I have downloaded it, so red hand up. How many are downloading it or have downloaded it? Let me see those hands in the chat. Whoop. Okay, great. Okay, so to move stuff around our viewport, we can left click it, and then we have options here to drag them around with left click. Okay, and if we go to the top right, there's like a rotation and a scale, and they kind of do what you would expect. They rotate or they scale. Now by default they do have a snappy feeling to them. You can disable that by disabling the rotation snapping here, the movement snapping here, and the scale snapping there. Now you can get a fluid movement if that's what you choose. If you want to use the hotkeys, it is W, E, R. So W to move, E to rotate, R to scale. Okay, you can scale on different axes too. Alright, that should be pretty intuitive. Something is working in the background, who knows when it's ready. Oh, you downloaded Epic Games at first? I thought I was done. Ah, that sucks. Alright, that sucks. Hope you can follow along a little bit today though. It shouldn't be too bad. Even if you join in a little bit late, you know, it's still great to get started. Okay. So on our right here, we have what we call the outliner. And this is where everything in our scene is put into a list. And so if we ever need to find something here, we can search for it. So we can search for cylinder number 14, and then we can left click it, and we can find it over here. Okay. So if we name stuff properly, the outliner can be very useful to find things. You think you'll be fine? That's great. So for example, if we want to change the light, we can search for light. We have a directional light. Where is that? That's over there. Okay, so it's like straight up in the sun right now, or straight up in the air, and we can start rotating it, and whoa, look at that. We can actually move the sun around in the sky by moving our directional light. How cool is that? We can get a sunset, we can go to nighttime. Oh, that's pretty cool, I think. You can even see it interacting with the clouds and everything. That's kind of what makes Unreal Engine so powerful. You get that real feedback, real time. You can see the light changes and everything right away. Okay. And so, bottom right here, so my face is blocking it a little bit. But we have a context sensitive menu, which is a fancy word for saying If you click on something, you'll get information about that thing that you have clicked. Yeah, you kind of gotta download that asset pack. And you know, if you're a little bit more, how should I say it? There is space for freestyling here, right? So if you feel like doing something a bit different than what I'm doing, you know, feel free to. This fab thing is not just for the sci-fi jungle, right? There's so many things. You can go to discover and go to 3D models. You can go to price and then sort by free. And you have a bunch of assets here, right? And then you can probably sort by like rating and all that, downloads, and there's so many free assets for you to use right here. Now, if you want to do some kind of Korean temple here, there's some stuff. Okay, just to say that even, you know, if the sci-fi jungle biome is really too much, like 7 gigabytes, you can find a smaller pack and just work with that. And this is just gonna be the basics here. Yeah, they got a lot of money pumped into Unreal Engine, so it is, some stuff is actually really nice, especially with the lighting. Okay, so to place stuff inside our scene, we know how to manipulate stuff. There's this tab here, Windows, or Window, and there's a Place Actors tab. Place Actors, you can click that, and then you get this sub menu. So an actor inside Unreal Engine is basically anything. So a cube can be an actor, a light can be an actor. So you can see here there's lights and stuff. You can go to lights, you have different kind of lights. So we can add a point light from this menu. And then when we click the point light, if you've been paying attention to class, everybody, the menu down here, the details menu, gives you a bunch of options and information about that light. So we can turn down the intensity or we can turn it way up. Okay, we can change the radius in which it affects our scene. We can change the color of it and stuff like that. This is something to be aware of. This details menu is very useful for a lot of stuff. Okay, and now if we click play, there's a blue light right there. First person template is already up, that's great. Okay, here you have some shapes too, like cubes, cones, whatever. Bunch of different things. Alright, how are people, like, are we all following along so far? I know this might be very basic to some, but at the same time, you know, we have people here that are completely new. And I want everybody to get like on the same baseline so we can get into placing some real cool stuff, you know. So give me a hand up in the chat if you're following along and you're kind of good for now with this kind of stuff. Like, if you can move around and you feel like you can move stuff around, that's all we need for now. So yes, I feel like I can do that. Hand up in the chat. Yes, so R key to get the rotation tool. If you're not a hotkey fiend, you can also click the buttons up here, top right. Almost loaded the jungle. Great, 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 great. Oh, you don't have enough storage to install it? That sucks. Wow, but you know what? It'll be recorded. It'll be on YouTube. It's a good watch after then. Okay, let's go ahead and do a count, a head count. How many people have gotten the sci-fi jungle in? So hand up in the chat, I got the sci-fi jungle in. Let's see if we can start something. And if you haven't quite gotten it, you know, you can still follow along. I'll just be doing simple stuff. Alright, people, just remember, if you lose, like if you get lost on something, if you have a question, like I'm sure there's a bunch of other people in the chat that have the same question that you do. So asking me that question actually does everybody a favor. It makes the quality of the stream higher. So any questions are always welcome. Nearly there, nearly there. almost done downloading. Okay. I will slowly get into it then. Actually, how about we do something that everybody can do even if you don't have it installed yet. So, I'm thinking that we make this we're kinda gonna make this valley a little jungle valley, okay? So first thing I'll do is make a ground to stand on. So, this might be a little bit dangerous here. Okay, so you go into landscape mode. I'm just scared if people are gonna do this while installing. This might take a while, but yes. So there's a selection mode where you can select all the objects in your scene. And then there's these other modes for other kind of things like modeling or creating a landscape, okay? So this landscape is quite huge right now. We don't really need that. So I'll go in and I'll lower the resolution to something like more realistic for what we need. So maybe like 100, what is it? 250. Okay, so 250 by 250, and it kind of puts it to 190 by 190. So we can move it around by using the W key and then moving it. Okay. So this base material, we can put it like as a jungle material, but for now I'll just go ahead and not do that. And then we click create. Okay, so this will be the first step. So create a landscape. See if you can get it that far. 44% unloading the jungle, so I'm watching for now and I'll look back later. Alright, that's okay. Might be able to follow along right now because I'm just doing landscape stuff. So I created this little landscape here. And then I can go in with some kind of sculpting brushes that you see out here on the left. You can make it larger with the radius here. And then you just left click and then we can kind of create this little valley here. So you don't need to really worry about the detail too much because we're gonna actually like make some kind of ground or mountainous terrain on top of this, okay? So this will not be the final. So just give us something to kind of work from, if that makes sense. So you can hold down shift to remove ground too, and just left click to add it. So I'm just creating this like little ground plane here. Maybe in the back it goes up a little bit further. And this is simply so when we click play here, we can't really see out into the infinite horizon, okay? It feels like a little bit more of a contained little level. Try to get that done. Where did you find it? So there's the landscape mode right here. And I put the resolution to 190 by 190 and then I click create. Okay. So if you're gonna want to go back to picking stuff up and moving it around, you can go back to the selection mode. Okay. And now we can move stuff around. So I know already for sure that I'm not going to be needing these walls and stuff like that. So I can select stuff in my scene and just click delete on it on the keyboard. So delete, delete, delete. And if we click play, we can actually go ahead and move around on our landscape that we created. Okay, so that's the first step, people. A humble first step. But it's a big one. Okay. I'll assume enough people have downloaded the Sci-Fi Jungle, so we should be able to get started a little bit. So if you don't have the content browser, you go to Windows and then open up content browser. It's here. So in here you have a new folder called Sci-Fi Jungle. So now the exciting part starts. In here we got our super cool looking models. So you can go to the models folder Go to nature. Go to foliage. Mushrooms. So there's a bunch of things in here, right? Props. What's in props? Items. Some kind of drone. Can you show that again? Sure. So you go to landscape here. So let me just delete it real quick. And while I'm doing this again, for the people that are already this far, feel free to explore your folders a little bit inside the modeling tab and see if you can find something cool. How do I actually... Okay, so you go here to landscape mode. You put the overall resolution to 190 by 190, and then you can like move it around where you want it to be. Oops. And then you just click the create button. So new, and then you just click create, and then you have your landscape. And then with the sculpt brush, you can just left click around your landscape to move stuff up, and then you can shift click to move stuff down. Okay, that's it. I hope that's okay, Klaus. So let's go back in foliage, shrooms, so models, nature, foliage, shrooms, and we can start with a little humble mushroom and see how that looks. Okay, so it's a very basic type of mushroom. We got some different kinds in here. And the texture just had to load for a sec, but you can see they actually look very detailed and very nice. Just gotta give it a second to load. Check the video afterwards. Okay. So once we click play, we'll have the assets in our scene. That is fantastic. So we can go ahead and see what else there is in here. There's a bunch of jungle biome stuff. Okay, how about we go into, what is here? Models, nature, soil. There's also, if we go to, let's say, so we gotta get a little bit used to where stuff is inside this. There's some terrain here. There's a water plane. So I think that would be nice probably. But if we go into... There's a bunch of other stuff too, okay? So if we go into blueprint and you go into environment, there should be... Yeah, environmental, there's water. Okay, so this one is very cool. You scale it up, you'll see that kind of gives us this little water effect. The shader might have to load for a second, but you can kind of see how it creates like random lily pads and like moss and stuff. It's creating moss when it touches stuff too. It's very cool. Okay, so for my scene, and everybody's scene can be a little bit different, I'll probably start out like this, okay? So I'll just scale up and create like a big water plane, and then I'll build from that. Because I kind of like that for like a swampy jungle kind of vibe. It's so cool. Yeah, it is so cool, right? So you see how like everything in the scene, like, you just get that mossy vibe to it. Okay, it's very fast. Okay. I'm avoiding the heavy duty stuff just because I don't want people's PCs to crash, which is a good reminder to remember to save your scene as well, people. Okay, what else do we have? There's rocks, rock formation, so that could be a cool point to start, right? Let's see if we can find like a big rock formation and put out in the distance a little bit. So some of these larger models that you have might have to load for a second. Okay, and it will come in gray, and then the texture and the shader has to get set up. So you see already here we're starting to get some crazy high fidelity, and we barely even know anything about Unreal, right? We just know how to drag and drop and move stuff around. So that's cool. So let's try some more of these rock formations and see if we can create some kind of valley. And you know, the heavier the asset, the more time it might take to get in here. So that's a really cool one. It's very tall. We also have to think about the angle at which we will be seeing all the stuff. So from this angle, okay, we can duplicate stuff around. There's some bigger pieces down here, like the rock wall. Let's try to put that one in and see what we can do with it. You know, it is great to have a decent PC for Unreal Engine, you know, kind of speeds everything up a little bit. So this one is huge, it seems, because it's really taking a while. And keep in mind, guys, like, this is for everybody to have fun, so it doesn't have to be one-to-one with what I'm doing. Feel free to explore these folders and see if you can find something cool, you know. Maybe you want to start out with like a center tree that's huge and then build out from that or something like that. That might not actually be a bad idea for this scene too. How do you scale the object? So I just click R and then I drag on the white dot to scale it uniformly. You can also click the little button up here, this scale icon, if you don't want to use the hotkeys. Alright, so now this thing is loaded in, so it is in fact very large. That's fine, because we kind of need something to fill in the space. Okay. Let's see if we can't reuse this on the other side too. So here comes a very useful hotkey. Control C, Control V. A lot of you might be very familiar with that hotkey, but it is also very useful inside here. Okay, so we're starting to get some kind of valley here. Whoa. Almost gives you vertical looking up at it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and like duplicate this out to fill the space, and then we can always come back and like adjust the rocks and make it look less repeated and more interesting and all that. If you need to, you can go back to your landscape editor and like push the landscape down, stuff like that. Okay. Let's say we're happy with this for now. Maybe we can add a boulder in here somewhere. Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of this blue light. Doesn't really fit the scene at all. Okay, let's go for something cool. How about it? So if we go into, let's see if we can find something. I see the hearts in chat. Hearts back at you. Okay, how about we go for a big one? So this one might take some time to load in, but we can go into geometry to this folder, nature, jungle. Oh no, these are dangerous. So we can go into foliage, jungle, and here are some very cool trees. So let me just pull one of them in and see what happens. So this could take a while to load. No, it was actually quite fast. It's not bad. You'll have to load in the textures and the shaders. You see, or you can't see, but on your own you'll see in the bottom right there's like a little pop-up that comes that says it has to load stuff. And for now I'll just take our ground plane here and just scale it up a little bit, because I kind of want to have a flat surface, and then we'll kind of decorate that afterwards. Okay, so we got this very nice tree. Let's see what it looks like. Oh wow, you can see this tree is very cool. It's very tall and already has a bunch of stuff that's decorating it. Oh, that's cool. Maybe there's a bigger tree in here somewhere. Let's try the first one. Yeah, this one is nice and big. Okay, let's see if there's something else. Some tree trunks. Okay. So for this terrain real quick, let me add a material to it so it's not so gray and weird to look at. Let me get out of here for that too, because you kind of gotta see what I'm doing. So if we click the terrain, down here at the bottom right, we have an option to add a landscape material. So we can click that. So enable that. And then in the drop down menu we can search for like soil, and then there's this material, soil jungle. You can click on that and then put on soil jungle. Okay. And even this cube that's underneath here, let's just put soil on it. So material, soil jungle. So material is basically just, you know, the color and stuff you see on the surface and the properties of what it looks like. So soil, whoop. Okay, it might look really funky. It's okay for now. So ideally we'll try to get rid of the landscape, so we'll cover it up with a bunch of stuff so we don't really see it. And now we're actually very quickly starting to create some kind of scene. I love the wind in the trees. Yeah, it's super cool. And you know, we didn't really do anything to get all that. It's just here and we can use it, and that's so nice. And we can go ahead and like strategically place some trees around our scene. Maybe rotate them a little bit so they don't look too similar. You see, just by doing that, it kind of gives the effect that there's something beyond the horizon. It's nice to look at. Okay, I'll keep adding some foliage. And now it's, you know, a good time to start thinking about, okay, well, how do we actually make something cool down there in the valley? Maybe we can make some kind of path or something. And this is where getting other asset packs also helps. Because now you can combine assets packs. Like what if you took the Korean temple that we looked at just before, and then you made some kind of temple that was inside the middle of a jungle, you know? That would be sick. So let's just add some variation here to the background. So we can make this one very large, perhaps. Copy this one over. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Alright, we're starting to get that jungle vibe. This is kind of getting cool, right? So if you look this way, it feels like, okay, you know, we could believe that we're inside a jungle. We see something on the horizon. Maybe this way needs a little bit of work still. Oops. It's kind of important to just give the player or the viewer or whatever kind of thing you're doing, just give them the illusion of there being something on the other side, right? Like give them the idea that they're inside an actual jungle, like inside a universe. And you do that by kind of hinting at the fact that, hey, you know, there might be something where you can't see it. And obviously there's nothing but blueness out here, but they don't have to know that. Okay, let's say that is great. Okay, now let's go ahead and clean up a little bit in here. You know, we don't need all these weird boxes, these test boxes. If you want to select multiple things, you can just hold down shift and click something. You can delete a lot of stuff at the same time. It's looking really cool so far, thank you a lot. And you can make something fairly cool, fairly quickly inside this engine, which is very nice. And you know, you could also, like it's, so for this stream I won't really be mixing asset packs, because just, you know, it's a little bit of a hassle getting everybody to download the same thing. But you know, y'all can just start downloading stuff off the marketplace and actually like get some really cool mixes in here. So now we're actually getting that jungle vibe. Okay. So let's make some kind of composition inside the center here. So I did like the idea of there being some kind of center tree. So let's pull in some more stuff here. Nope, question number 2, but how do you create objects like trees or soil? So do you mean how do you make like your own trees or your own soil? Or do you mean how do you put it into the scene, Amy? So like how do you make, like you actually make your own stuff? So you do that by watching the other bootcamps, because we go through how to actually make 3D assets on those bootcamps. And those assets can be imported into an engine like Unreal Engine. Got it, yeah. And there's a lot of different things to that, but yeah, it's essentially you use programs like Blender or Maya or ZBrush or Substance Painter. There's many different avenues. You can also photo scan stuff, so you can take a bunch of pictures of something in real life and then convert that into a 3D object. So I really like what we have going on here. I'm kind of creating some kind of archway that's gonna lead into, let's say, like an open plaza with this center tree. So let's try to go with that, okay? So I'm thinking in terms of composition, and these are like more artistic terms, you know. Even though this is a 3D stream, it's gonna matter. So I'm gonna try to create like a closed off space where we don't have that blue sky kind of feeling, but we kind of crawl out through an archway or go through it, and then we have this open space with the center tree. And I think that'll give a nice contrast. A lot of art can just be boiled into contrast, right? So creating that feeling of going from something a little bit more claustrophobic to something open, it can be nice. So you can go ahead and select the player spawn. You can also search for it in the outliner. So player start, you can select it and you can move it where you want and you can rotate it. Okay, so we're kind of getting somewhere. My background is still default. How can I change the background color? So you're talking about the landscapes here. What you do is, let me get out of here for a second. You click the landscape, and then down here in the bottom right, you will see a landscape material tab, okay? You enable that, and then you click on the little drop down, and then you can search for soil, okay? And then you can pick the soil. It should come with the pack. You can also download a bunch of different materials. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it was something else that you meant. Okay, let's get back to it. Were you loading the whole jungle scene? Yeah, that might take a while. Okay, I'm starting to like this. This is turning into something cool. So we have this archway that we're gonna go through. And out here on the other side, there's an opening in the dense jungle. Okay, let's try to cover it up a little bit. How do you design a level while keeping computer performance in check? So there's a bunch of different sort of aspects to this. Like usually when you're doing level design, you would do what's called a block out first, okay? So you would kind of use simple shapes to you'd use very simple shapes to figure out, okay, where does everything go? Okay, and then you can sort of just place the stuff where it needs to go. That's one aspect of it. And then another aspect is you can use lower detail versions of the asset you're working with, like LODs. I think Unreal can make them by default. A lot of packs come with LODs already. And then lastly, there's stuff like Nanite inside Unreal Engine, which, yeah, that's a whole subject in itself, but it will help with high poly meshes a lot. But Unreal Engine really is one of those things, like if your PC is super powerful and you get to be a little bit carefree, then that is really fun. Now, because I'm streaming, my graphics card is being used a little bit by that, so it will slow down my scene a little bit, sadly, but that's okay. Okay, let's say this is kind of what we want. So we come out, we get our gun, and some kind of dragon flies above our head. I don't know. I should start using blockouts more. I usually get ahead of myself and add every detail in immediately. Yeah, you know, the thing is, like, the details, they're just like the icing on the cake, right? Like, really what we see are those big things, right? Like going from a small space to a big space. That's, you know, the feeling that we get. That's the cool part. The details are, of course, nice, but you have great looking low poly games and low detail games as well. Okay, let's use a new tool, because I'm getting a little bit sad looking at these empty banks here. First of all, let's make a pathway, should we? No, okay. We can go back into the landscape mode, and I'm just gonna see if I can make a little bit of like a hill here. So I can't do that. Maybe we can make a little bit of a pathway, or is that gonna be too funky? That's gonna be too funky. I don't want to deal with that right now, but we can make some hills and stuff. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you all a really cool tool. I'm happy you're enjoying it, Galaxy Fox. So there's a new tool I'm gonna introduce here for you all. A new tool for your tool belt. It is foliage, okay? So where we clicked selection mode or landscape mode, there's another one called foliage. Okay, so if we go back into models, nature, foliage, jungle, we get a bunch of different kind of foliage, okay? So we can make a brush that we put a bunch of different objects into, and then we can start painting on our landscape, and it will actually kind of drop all those different models around a little bit randomly. So let's say we wanted to have a field with a bunch of grass and then like a couple flowers or dandelions spread out. We just drop a bunch of grass models in here and a couple flowers, and then we could just paint and it would do that. Okay, so I'm gonna do something similar here. We have some jungle ferns and some jungle grasses. So I'm just gonna shift select what I want here, and then I'm gonna left click and drag into the foliage type. And then it needs to create like a new version for each of them. Just click save for all of them. And now we can actually paint. Look, and we can paint with the shrubs that we have selected. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool. And then there's a bunch of settings here too. So paint density. Okay. So let's say we're happy with this. We can sort of just go across the banks here and add a little bit of it. So it kind of has this like spiky forest, weird red alien kind of, I don't know what's going on with it, something like that. And you could even put trees in it and like paint with trees on the outside, but we don't really need to do that right now. Okay, there's some let's try with some of this other stuff too, okay? So, oops. Oh, you can also go in and like check off the density of some of the stuff. So maybe there's a bit too much red. Let's see if I can go in here and erase. I can. So I'm gonna erase some of the stuff I put down, because I think there's a little bit too much of the red ones. So I can click the red ones and then I can decrease the density. So let's see, I want 10 times less of that. And if I go in and paint now, there should be a lot less of that, and you see that. Like that a little bit more. Can add some stuff around here. Maybe close to the sides. All right. Let's see what else we can find. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and get another pack, because I did see that there was another free one this week. This wooden props environment pack. And I think maybe we could make something with this. So like a little man-made structure. So I'll click view and launcher. You know, feel free to do this as well. You don't have to. You can also keep going with the jungle thing. So I'll find it here. Add to project. Bootcamp jungle. There we go. And it will load in. And while that's loading, what shall we shoot at? Oh, that might be for a different bootcamp. That's a whole subject in itself. Alright, let's do a quick head count in the chat. Hand up if you're kind of having fun and you're following along and everything is alright. So I am kind of following along. Do a hand in the chat. If the speed is appropriate and all that, and you're kind of doing your own little scene, hand up in the chat. And by the way, I would love to see all's kind of progress at the end of the stream. So it would be great if people could join the Discord at some point, and then we can sort of share what we made on there. I love seeing the people do stuff. So just so y'all know, there's this 3D Bootcamp chat on the CADA Discord, and we post all the stuff we do on here. And the question that was asked, like, how do you make your own stuff? This is what we did on the last stream. So some people have been posting their things. We made a little noodle shop, and if we wanted to, we could just import this into Unreal Engine and like run around it or do whatever we need to it. So okay, glad to see people are following. Computer is too slow. That sucks. Alright, so now we have the wooden props. Let's see what we can find. There's some prefabs, single parts, barrels and stuff. Okay, we can just use the prefabs. Let's see what we're working with here. So again, it has to load in the shader and all that. So maybe we're walking on this little jungle walkway here. So if you click this little button, your movement will orient to the object that you have selected. So before it would just go X, Y, Z in the world, but you can actually make it point in the direction of whatever you have selected. Okay, let's move the player spawn up on a bridge here. Okay, that's quite cool. So I wonder why is there a little rope here blocking the way. See what else we have in here. Yes, it is in the description. I hope you found it. You know, for the people that cannot find it, I will just drop it again here. Okay. You can copy all of these by shift clicking them. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, we have to jump because there's that little rope. Ah, it's fine, whatever. You know, I would fix that, but, you know, let's get on with it, because the stream is the stream and we don't have all the time in the world, sadly. Okay. If we want to add a little bit more variation to our terrain, we can just copy this thing out, because this thing looked really cool. Can move it around so it like pokes out. Maybe we do something up here too. There's these huge roots. Okay, this tree, let me try something. What if we make it crazy big? Oh, I think that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we can find. I mean, it's supposed to be an alien sci-fi like planet. Let's see if we can find something else in here. I'll go into models, nature, space. No. Maybe in geometry, nature, jungle. No. Oh, in here, shrooms, swamp. Ooh, here's some weird stuff. Can you edit the appearance of your character, like height and stuff? Yes, of course you can. And that's like a whole talk in itself as well about how you do that. So there's gonna be a lot. You know, one of the cool things about Unreal Engine is there's a lot of YouTube tutorials as well. So even when I'm done here and you want to edit the appearance of your character, you can find a lot of good resources on YouTube and that kind of stuff. So maybe there's some kind of weird swamps growing on, or shrooms growing on this big tree. I think that would be quite cool. Alright, let's play it. Wow. I feel like the tree should be right here. Hold up. Let's move stuff around so we come out actually facing the tree. So I'm just gonna shift click some stuff and then move the tree. Wow. Alright, nice. I think that's awesome. And then maybe we can add a little bit of extra fluff here in the background just so it doesn't look so deserted. Hey, there we go. That's quite cool. Sea of Thieves? Oh, they have stuff like this in Sea of Thieves? That'd be sick. And I feel like they had some more alien stuff. I feel like I found it before I started the stream, but now I cannot find it. Is it inside the foliage? Oh, here's some stuff. If you go inside models, nature, foliage, jungle, there's some weird like alien plants and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think Sea of Thieves look beautiful. I think we did a really good job with the water feeling in that game. Hey, I mean, you're comparing what I did in like an hour to a game people probably spent like, you know, years on. I'll take that as a compliment, you don't have to worry about that. That's a major compliment. Liana? Jungle Liana? Could be nice to break up these walls a little bit. What GPU do you have? That's a good question. I'm currently not on my home PC. Let's see. I have a 1660 GTX 1660. So not too crazy. You know, it's not terrible. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna work on a little bit of some composition stuff here. I'm surprised how it runs so smoothly. Yeah. No, it's not that I don't feel it a little bit at this point. Let's look for a cool shot of our scene, huh? Would this be a cool shot? Or is it the other way that's the cool shot? Maybe one from each angle. Yeah, Unreal Engine on a laptop might be a little bit tough. Okay, since there's like 10 minutes left, I'll just take a screenshot and post it on the Discord, and I'd love to look at what everybody else has been doing. So I would recommend at this point to sort of get ready, find like a nice angle and all that. And I'll literally just be taking a picture of my screen, so nothing too complicated. Looking for a cool angle. Maybe the shade in the foreground. This is tough. How much do you earn by doing this? Oh, it's just like a thing I'm doing in, what's it called? With the school. I'm a student here, so. It's not like I'm getting sponsored or anything like that by Unreal Engine or something. I think this is sure. Alright, let's go with this for one shot, and then I'll take a different shot. So I'll literally just take a screenshot of my screen. Nothing too complicated, nothing too fancy, and I'll post it. It's not a school, it's not actually a school project. I'm just doing these boot camps like once a week for people to follow along. I mean, we spent 1 week on this, or 1 hour basically. If you want to see school projects I've done, there is my art station. You guys can go check out. I will link it as well. So this is something I did on the first semester. So if I had a little bit more time, this is kind of what I did. But and here I did model everything myself. It's not like imported or something. And the clouds too, that was cool. So you guys can check that out if you feel like it. It's first semester, now I'm in 4th semester. I looked it up because I was curious, but it depends on the country, because where... Oh, did I miss a question? Where I came from, it's like minimum wage to starting salary for lower wage. Oh, thank you guys, thank you. Yeah, so I mean 3D, yeah, there's so many different... Okay, like you could work with Unreal Engine, but you could work in many different places in the world, or doing different projects. It's kind of hard to tell. Okay, I'm just gonna use like the clipping tool inside Windows and just take like a picture of my screen. Whoa. Why is it not doing that? Okay, so I took a screenshot and I'm gonna post it in here. And I'll also take it from a different angle, and I would love everybody else to also take a picture. You know, it doesn't have to be finished, it doesn't have to be particularly cool. I just love to see what people have done, you know. So maybe like this. Oop. Then maybe one down here. Phew. Okay, now you know what? That's fine. I got my 2 screenshots. I'm gonna post them. So I'll write down here in the chat. Right, screenshots here. Here's what we did on today's bootcamp. Hope you all enjoyed. So, and I do hope you all enjoyed. I'd love to see what you all did. Boop. Can you make animations here? Like I have characters move around? Yes, of course you can. You definitely can. You can also make animations in other softwares, which is usually the way to go. And then you import them into Unreal Engine. So just like you can import a model, you can also import an animation. Whoop. So very neat. Alright people. Ding, 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 ding. The bell is ringing. It's time for your screenshots and stuff in the Discord chat. Just send whatever it is that you have. I'd be happy to look at it. It doesn't have to be done. It just makes me happy to see that people have been following along and learned something, right? That's the main thing, guys. We gotta learn something. That's what we're here for. So I'll give it like a little second. And while I'm giving it a second, I'll ask, so... Okay, hold up. Let me look. I can't wait. Leruta? Wow. That is quite nice. That is quite sweet. I like the lake feeling. It really does feel like a lake. Got the center tree, little thing in the middle of the lake. That's really cool. That is really cool. And you know, if you had different assets packs, you could make this into like, maybe there's a little statue of something carved into it or on top of it or something like that. Wow. Very No Man's Sky-esque feeling. Beautiful. Good job. Oh, that was my own? Yeah, it's nice. I like this. It's interesting to look at. Good job, Leruta. You got a big heart. Happy to see it. Okay, goodbye. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you got something out of it. Alright, cool. You got more of like a full forest vibe. It's very cool. What is that like? Oh, a starry sky. That is cool. Good job. You got that nighttime vibe. That's very cool. I really got that forest feeling. I'm gonna give that a heart. I'm glad you followed along. I hope you learned something. Galaxy Fox, thank you for joining. Emil, your laptop is almost dead. Oh, I like this weird structure. That's kind of a cool idea, like to encase it in some kind of, like an ancient alien Stonehenge. You know, I like that. That's cool. Good idea. So, thank you for following along today. Clap yourself on the shoulder. It's very cool. Happy to see it. Epic H. Ooh. Oh, you got more of a river feeling. Cool. Happy to see it. Happy you followed along. Hope you learned something. Yourself a clap on the back. What is this terrain though? That looks cool. I don't really know what I'm looking at, but it kind of looks cool. So, give you a heart, big heart for that one. This has been really cool. I'm excited to see more of these in the future. Thank you very much. I'm excited to do more of these in the future if you all enjoy it. And on that note, if you did enjoy it, remember to leave a like, because it tells people that let me run these boot camps that you all enjoy it and that I should keep doing it. So I would appreciate that. Fjord, okay, I see more. It's nice. It is nice too. It's more of like a riverbank kind of vibe. Or like the side of a lake. I'm happy to see these results. They all look kind of cool. You got this crevice with like a little thing you could walk over or walk through. That's nice. Like looking at this, I kind of want to walk through it, you know. That's nice. So good job. Clap yourself on the shoulder. Okay, people. Alright. So that's gonna be pretty much it for me for today. See you next week. I can't wait. Yeah. Alright, so is there a CADA hashtag on Instagram I can tag? I actually don't know if there is a CADA hashtag. It should be able to find it. I'm not sure. They do have an Instagram themselves for the school, so maybe you can find it there. Okay, I hope you all had fun, people. I hope you all learned something. I hope, because you know the point of these is that it's like an easy introduction. You know, it's just like a way to ease into the software, and I hope I kind of managed that for some of you all. And thank you all for joining, and I'm excited to see you all next week. So next week we'll be doing sculpting, so that'll be cool. So if you want to know how to make some stuff yourself, like if you wanted your own little bulldog sculpted and put into Unreal Engine, you could do that. Or your own little cat if you're more of a cat person. So that's gonna be it for me today. I'll be back next week, same time, same place. I'll see you all then. Goodbye. Have a nice rest of your evening or morning or midday, wherever you're from. So see you. Bye bye.